We're Bison! We are impacted! We're Bison! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power and make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and ho ho ho! Welcome to TNI Impacted 114, coming to you live via Lapland and the Total Non-Stop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen on the go, we're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favourite shows. I am your host, Bison, and today I am joined by the one and only Joker, and of course, the man simply known as Steve. Hey guys, how are we doing?
We're very festive today. How are you?
I'm doing
Don't
good.
sound. I don't sound pumped and everything, but dog backed me in the nose, so that's why I've got a red nose.
Is that right? Yeah, that's right. We've got Joker, the red-nosed reindeer, and we've got Happy Christmas with us today. It is a very festive Happy Holidays version of Impacted today. And we're very excited. I mean, Christmas just around the corner, guys. You know what I mean? Christmas,
yeah.
New Year, it's just around the corner. You know, we're going to actually get a week off, which is going to be fantastic. You know, I don't know. I'm excited. Are you excited, Joe?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing good old Saint Nick, because
is a scumbag.
Well, that's kind. That's kind, yeah. And what about yourself? What about yourself, Simply Christmas?
Yeah, like I say, I mean, it's come around quick, really. It's kind of come out of nowhere, hasn't it? But yeah, I think it's going to be nice as always, isn't it? Yeah, it's time, just time to kind of go mad, isn't it? Really, kind of Christmas is like eat what you want, and then kind of just no rules, isn't it?
No rules.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. No rules for Christmas. Sounds good to me. I'm down with that. I like no rules. That's definitely the way we want to move forward on that one. But guys, listen, we have had one hell of a year, haven't we? One hell of a year at Impact.
Definitely.
it's insane.
It's been insane, and not only that, we've also had some fantastic matches. We've had a lot of fun on this show as well. So we've got a few things going on today. So we're going to be looking at what's going on at the moment. We're going to be looking at what possibly. So basically, it's a bit like Scrooge. Yeah, we're looking at Impact past, present, and future today. That's what we're looking at. So, I just want to make sure. I just want to mention, basically, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, you like some of the stuff you've been seeing already, or you like some stuff you see later on today, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to also give us a thumbs up if you like what you see. And of course, make sure you smash that bell to never miss any of the great content coming out each and every single week on the Total Non-Stop Impact Network. And don't forget, guys, the brand spanking new short that I'm doing at the moment, TNI in 60, is going to be coming to you on a very regular basis. I'm hoping that after Christmas, I'm going to start doing it every single day. At the moment, I'm doing maybe 3 or 4 a week, I guess we'll do. But once we get into the new year, we got all the new stuff coming. We're getting announcements left, right, and center. TNI in 60 will be in full effect, baby. Full effect. So, if you would like to show your appreciation with the odd super sticker, especially, being the season of goodwill and all that, that would, of course, be very much appreciated. And, of course, helps you guys to give you as much content each and every week as we possibly can. We're trying to get as much out there for you guys as we possibly can. So the odd super sticker of appreciation would be very, very much appreciated.
Triumphant.
Sorry, 2 seconds, guys. Just bear with me. You go for it a second.
Okie dokie. Where were we? We right. News and rumors and recap for the week. What's everyone's
I'm back.
thoughts?
I'm back. Sorry about
You're
that,
back.
guys. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Mrs. Bison came in. She had questions, and I'm like, I'm live, love. What's going on? But she had some questions for St. Bison, and I had all the answers. That's the thing. I had all the answers. St. Bison has all the answers. Trust me, he has all the. He's even got the hat to prove it. He's got all the answers. St. Bison knows absolutely everything, and I was happy to give those answers, and it's now done. Guys, so let's get slap bang to news, rumours, and impact recap of the week. And of course, like I said, we're going to be talking about the past, present, and the future. But guys, let's talk about the present right now. Thoughts on the design and Dina as leader so far. Steve, go.
So far, I think it's a home run. They haven't given us too much, but they've given us enough to, sink our teeth into and think, okay, it's different enough from what we had from Violent by Design, but still got the roots from where they were going. So I'm kind of very intrigued to see where it goes, and I think this new unit looks really good.
Okay, I agree with that. And what about yourself, Joker, the red-nosed reindeer? How do you feel on this?
We all know Dina is a master in character development and everything. He's absolutely nailed this really, really well, and it's a great way to showcase Con and Angels now as well. But moving on from Violent by Design to this, it was just like a smooth transition. It's like everything's changed, but right. It's not like taking a turn for the worst. Except for Sammy Callahan, of course, he's taking a hell of a lot of crap from Con and Angels at the moment. But I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, especially for Hard to Kill, and hoping this. We got so much. We've been talking about what could happen with Sammy already in the past couple of weeks, and it's just been one. No, there's no better way to start a new faction than to go after Sammy Callahan, and I think it's just great. This has just been fantastic.
Definitely. I agree on all of that stuff. Totally. Can I just say a Merry Christmas to the boss there? Trent is in the chat. Merry Christmas, buddy. Hello to Mir. Hello to, I think I just saw Violet in the chat. So great to see you guys. Thanks for joining us on this Happy Holidays special. I hope you're going to enjoy the show. We've got all sorts of stuff to talk about. And don't forget to leave your comments on any of the things that we've been talking about today. It matters. Anything that at the end of the day, we all have our own opinions, and yours is just as valid as ours. So please feel free to chuck whatever you want in the chat. And
Your opinion doesn't matter.
It matters to me. Guys, Giselle Shaw and Scott Demore celebrating 4 years together. Wow, 4 years. That's a long, long time. And I know it's a bit of a shock. A lot of people were like, "My God, I didn't know they were together." But how fantastic is that? Great news. I did pop it out on the TNI-UK. Wanted to wish them congratulations on their 4 years. And, of course, wish them Merry Christmas, Happy New Year as well. Very, very important to make sure we do that, guys. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it came as a big surprise to, I think, a lot of people. But at the end of the day, like we said, all that matters is the fact that they're happy together. It doesn't matter what a lot of other people think. What matters is what they're happy together. So, yeah, it's a surprise, but good. Many may long it continue.
Okay, what about you, Joe? Thoughts?
That is not an appropriate question.
No, not at all. Okay. So
I'm happy for both. I'm happy. It's great news, and like Steve said, as long as they're happy, that's all that matters. I've got nothing else to really add to it. It took me back because we all thought it was strangers, I was sure. In fact, pretty much the entire internet thought it was them too. But no, it doesn't. As far as I'm concerned, that's their business, and that's all. That's where it should be. As long as it's their business, then that's fine.
Fair enough, and I agree. I think it's fantastic news. Congratulations to those guys. 4 years, man. 4 years. That's amazing. Okay.
Waiting for someone to drop some thing about Trent's marriage in 4 years now into the comments.
Yeah, well, it's definitely lasted longer than Trent's marriage, that's for sure. Eh?
Sorry,
He's doing well. He's doing real well. Okay, and Mir's saying is Scott D'Amore and Giselle Shaw the next Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Well, I don't know about that, but you never know. You never know.
That is one.
So
That is one thing we have said, though, isn't it? About how like the booking of Giselle Shaw has been a bit here, there, and everywhere. You know, you can't say that. Obviously, D'Amore has put favoritism towards her.
No, he's not.
no, not at all. I mean, if that was the case, he would have brought her in 4 years ago and not
Yeah.
in the last year. He's brought her in. She's ready to go. Obviously, they've been doing a lot of work and getting her ready. She's looks fantastic, and she's putting on some great performances in the ring. So
Yes.
you can't knock that.
No.
So there you go. Fantastic. So I'm happy for her. I'm happy for Scott. It's great to see. Now Delirious is now on the Impact roster page as well. Plus, he's continuing to work backstage in a producer role as well. This for me, only good for Impact. I love the way they're using him as well, because at the end of the day, he's now obviously involved in enhancing storylines, putting over talent, which is exactly what a guy of his experience and talent level should be doing. What do you think on this one, Joe?
I'm really, really excited to see Delirious is now fully recognised on the roster. He was so impressive last week, and he was so impressive when we saw him debut on Impact Wrestling. And we can't forget the legendary promo of Yuya Uemura. That was just unbelievable. I'm looking forward to seeing what else is planned for him, if anything, who he's going to work with next. And he's just been so incredible. It's just great to see a legend like him on Impact Wrestling's roster.
I agree. I think he's doing a fantastic job. I think he has lost a little bit of a step, but at the end of the day, I think that he's still putting out a good match. I don't know how many times I can watch the I don't know what they call it. What do they call it, around the world or something, where they go rope to rope? I'm not sure how many times I can watch that in one of his matches, but at the end of the day, he is doing what he's supposed to do, which is help enhance the talent. If he's doing stuff backstage, he's got an amazing wrestling brain. So I'm all for that. And you, Steve?
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, he's someone that I could definitely see elevating behind the scenes, producing and helping bring talent like we've seen with Mike Bailey, enhancing their character work a lot more. And he's someone, like you say, who can pop in and have a good match to elevate talent, put talent over as well when needed to. So I think it ticks all the boxes that Impact need.
Oh, definitely. And I have to say, Mira, I haven't asked Black Taurus, but I am. Yeah, he's of the very similar opinion, guys. He's basically saying that he's doing a lot of great stuff backstage, and he'd really like to get in the ring with him. I'd like to see Black. That would be great. That would be great.
That would be a hell of a partnership.
Could you? Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether you imagine Delirious in the venturing into the undead realm or something. I don't know.
Sort of Delirious and Taurus under Crazy Steve. That would be a hell of a unit.
Or imagine them in a wrestle house environment instead, where it's a lot more laid back and a lot more comical. Have them sitting opposite each other in a book club.
You could have a Delirious book club, and the Black Taurus and Delirious in their book club of two would be interesting. Okay, we've also this past week and on this past Impact had the great news that John Gresham has signed with Impact Wrestling and is actually set to face Eddie Edwards at Hard to Kill. Of course, the match that we never actually got back at was it Under Siege? Under Siege, yes, I think it was Under Siege. So the match that we didn't actually get. So it's really good that we're now actually going to get that match. Maybe that is where we're going to sort of kind of put closure on this whole Honor No More thing. Because I know that initially that was all about Honor No More, wasn't it? That was what the sort of beef was around that. Maybe that's where we sort of kind of like totally cross the T's, dot the I's, it's done. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But the best news is the fact that John is actually signed with Impact Wrestling for the foreseeable future. We didn't get it was a multi-year deal or anything like that, but he has signed. So he's going to be around for a little while. So that's great news, right?
Yeah,
Definitely.
fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I think we all expected Gresham to sort of pop back up in Impact, and it makes complete sense coming back into this story with Eddie Edwards. And like you say, to tick the On No More story off back in Hard to Kill, where this time, where last year this year at Hard to Kill is where the On No More story started. It kind of brings it in full circle.
I totally agree.
Good job, Scott. Good job.
Good job, Scott. Good job. Yeah, definitely. I think it's fantastic news. It's Jonathan Gresham signed. I think he's an amazing wrestler. I really enjoy his matches. And the thing is with him, is that a lot of people are always a bit boring because he's pure style and all the rest of it. Just because his preference is pure, doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to wrestle pure at Impact Wrestling. Yeah, we might still get a few of those sort of kind of style of matches. Why not? It makes sense. But he can wrestle anything. He can wrestle any style.
Yeah.
So I'm personally just looking forward to seeing what this guy has to do. He is the octopus. He is the the man of 1,000 holds or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Dean
forward.
Malenko was the guy with 1,000 holds.
Well, Gresham has got 2,000 holds in.
Yeah.
He's that good.
You could see him go toe to toe with Trey Miguel, and that would be an instant classic right there and then, or even Josh Alexander, instant classic there and then. It's just amazing. And Norris has arrived in the chat. Welcome, Norris.
Hey, Norris, my man. Welcome for coming in, boy. Thank you. It's great to see you. It's always good to see all of you guys popping into the chat. Make sure you leave some comments, guys. We do appreciate it. The more comments that you put in, the better. We may not mention every single one of them, but we will do our best to feature you guys as much as we can. And of course, we'll use the sound bites as well. Now, guys, the big news, the big release of the week. Exactly. Yeah. Bam! The big news of the week when it comes to releases has to be Mandy Rose, who gets released from WWE. Do Impact have a shot at signing her to the Knockouts division, or will she become the next shiny new toy for Tony Khan at AEW? What are your thoughts on this? I'm going to go with Joe on this one.
I hope she goes to Impact Wrestling. I think jumping straight into AEW, as soon as she's gone from WWE, is going to be a mistake. If anything, at least go to Impact Wrestling for 6 months, see how it goes, and then see where you want to go from there. Like Mia Yim has done, and other people have done. They've come out of WWE, rebuilt themselves in pro wrestling, and rebuilt their audience, and then gone on to wherever else they want to do. So I think that would be the best decision for her, because right now she's got so much controversy around her and bullshit about whatever the hell she's done. It's just ridiculous. You go to a place like Impact Wrestling, and then you get a clean slate. No, the locker room doesn't judge you. The anybody at back doesn't judge you, and most of the fans won't judge you.
Totally. And what about you, Steve? What are your thoughts on this? Are you a member of Mandy's OnlyFans?
Not quite. Although I will say,
not quite.
I will say, like, it's one of those where if she did come to Impact, I think that a lot of people will obviously welcome her with open arms, and I think the Knockouts division would benefit. It's one of those where would Impact take the chance given the fact that there is controversy around it right now, or would they wait a little while until the controversy dies down and then jump to sort of say, okay, now we'll kind of
Mears just brought up an interesting point, Steve. He's saying that Chelsea Green recently shut down her OnlyFans account, which is interesting because that would then tell you that there's an indication that she's heading somewhere.
Yes.
Because I would imagine now, they're being very, very strict on what these guys do externally, which is understandable.
Been, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah, which is understandable. But I mean, Norris is saying there that if properly promoted, Mandy could bring in the ratings more than say the Good Brothers, because of Impact's older demographic that would fall in love with her. That's interesting. Yeah, they probably would. They
Maybe,
probably sign
yeah,
up
I
to
mean-
our own fans. Most of them probably already are. But there you go. But like Critical Thing saying there that, you know,
Yeah.
like Chelsea Queen's almost getting ready for the Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be right. You could be right.
Well, if WWE aren't going to profit on it, then they don't want it, basically. So,
Yeah,
you know,
if they're not making any money,
I
then
thought
they-
Triple
they're
H would have
not
been a
hyped
bit
about it.
more. I thought Triple H would have been a bit more open-minded about things like that, and a bit more, you know, a bit more freedom that way. But clearly not yet.
Well, we don't know, not being members of our OnlyFans, we don't know exactly what it is that she's been putting out there, though, to be fair.
Yeah, there's obviously a line where they say, okay, this is how far you can go, you know, and you don't know what that line is, do you?
I would imagine underwear and bikini shots. You know, I would imagine if she started whipping her top off, then we've got a problem. I think that's kind of where we're at with it, I would imagine. But you know, either way, you know, she's entitled to earn a living. I mean, I've heard some ridiculous rumor that's been splashed out there since in the last week that she was released. She's made $500,000. I'm like, I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
you know, that seems a little bit over the top. But you know, all of a sudden, everyone wants to get on her OnlyFans to find out what's on there.
Yeah.
It could be. It could be. You know what I mean? I don't know. It could be. You just don't know, do you? What's this one? If I hear Mandy Rose's name one more time. Oh, all right, Mir, calm down. Mandy Rose.
I was going to say...
Mandy Rose. Hang on, say it again. Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose.
I'll tell you what. I know one thing. If you say his name, at least he'll appear.
Christ, it's all the way down here, isn't it? So
I believe in Joe Hendry.
There we go. So, but there we go. So Mir's obviously not a fan of Mandy Rose, but there you go. I think it'd be cool. I'd like to see her turn up. You know, and of course, like you say, again though, you know, it's I don't know. I think if you want to do OnlyFans, that's fine. And again, Impact Wrestling doesn't have an issue with that. But I do think you have got to draw the line somewhere. You know, as a promotion, you have got to turn around and say, look, you know, we are sort of kind of a family-ish friendly show. You've got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah.
We don't put porn stars on our you know, wrestling show.
It's like that in any job, isn't it? You know, you go to work, and then if you do something out of work that is going to hinder someone that you'd come into contact with at your work, they're going to say, hang on, weren't you doing this?
Exactly. So I'd imagine there's probably been something that's gone a little bit awry. But there you go. That's that. I'd like to see Mandy Rose, you know, if she wants to continue wrestling, then great, you know, great. If not, if she wants to start, you know, filming cum shots, that's up to her. The other news is that Jonah turns up. Sorry, guys, I've got a cough. A bit of a chest
That
cough.
time of year, innit?
well, it's Christmas, isn't it? Christmas time. It's the time for colds and flu.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's it.
Never mind
Of course,
giving.
it's a lot.
It's and goodwill. It's the time of colds and flu and
Exactly.
high
When I
temperatures.
cough a lot, I cough more, you know? Anyway, right. So Jonah this week is turned up on WWE. So it looks like Trips is bringing them all back, slowly but surely. They're all coming back, and like you say, Chelsea Green could be turning up as well by the looks of it. So what are your thoughts on this one? That Bronson Reed is now turned back up on WWE.
I was a little surprised, given the fact of how how much he'd been doing on, you know, New Japan, and how successful he'd been in Impact. I honestly thought he'd be one of those who would really give it some thought about going back. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that obviously Trips is trying to get everyone back again.
No, not at all. But I don't think everyone that he's got back has been as successful as he'd hoped. What about you, Joe? What are your thoughts on Jonah? I'm a little bit excited, really.
Yes.
Yeah, he did mention it to Sammy Callahan that when he was interviewed by him that if he was to go back, it would have to be under the right circumstances and things like that. And given the amount of exposure he got across New Japan Pro Wrestling, that clearly got everyone's attention. WWE and Triple H was one of the guys who endorsed him to begin with. Vince McMahon just didn't want him there because he was someone that would outdo all the guys on his top list rather than on the fans' top list. And so
I think it's more to do. I think it's more to do with the fact that Vince clearly has a certain look that he likes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And anyone that's carrying a little bit of extra weight,
Yeah.
they're not so keen on. Samoa Joe took a while. It took a while for them to start pushing Samoa Joe, for instance, because it took a long time for Joe to get there because, again, they thought the same thing. Didn't have the look.
Yeah. I one thing I will say, I'm glad he's gone to WWE than to AEW, not just as a biased fan or a biased mark in this case, but he's got unfinished business at WWE and a lot to prove. And having guys like Triple H and Shawn Michaels backing you and the fans backing you as well, although there wasn't a lot of huge hype and buzz around it because a lot of fans are saying if you're going to be bringing people like this back, then at least build them up a bit more. Give us some promos and and vignettes and things like that, like Impact Wrestling have been doing when they brought guys in. Do that.
A reason to care.
Yeah, because at the moment everyone's turning up out the blue, like Tony Khan has done, which is the one thing that's probably the biggest low point about him going back to WWE. He just turned up out the blue and helped the Miz win a match. Yeah. It wasn't anything special.
That's all Tony's doing. He just literally they turn up. There's no hype. There's no build. There's nothing. They just turn up, and then they only have hype for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then it's done.
Yeah, but even the WWE fans are saying the same, that if you're going to bring someone like him back in, then you need to build it up a bit more. It's the same with Mia Yim. It just happened out of nowhere, and the fans didn't really react to it.
Maybe. We've also learned that No Surrender is set to return to Sam's Town in Las Vegas on the 24th of Feb, and that's going to be followed by 2 nights of Impact tapings as well. I'm pleased with this. I love the Sam's Town crowd. I think they're I think the Vegas crowd are hot for it. My only concern is 3 nights in a row. Are we going to get full arenas for 3 nights?
I think we could.
Sam's
Town is one of those places that they go mad for it and there. And the shows are good. The shows were good this year. It was packed then, and I can see them selling out 4 or 3 nights. Especially given the amount of momentum that's been built up this year from January through to December. Places have been selling out since Rebellion. It's been insane.
The fact here is that if you have an amazing Hard to Kill, if we get a couple of surprise debuts or returns, then that could build the hype into February, and we could see people wanting to really definitely get your asses to these tapings, to this show. I
love this match.
That kind of attitude.
Exactly. That's what we need. Excuse me.
Yeah, and we've said it in the past as well about how maybe if you get a good crowd at No Surrender, you could then give a good offer to the crowd there to then turn up at the tapings, like 25% off of those tickets, to then say, okay, you've shown up at the No Surrender, here's an offer to then turn up at these tapings, and then that will get a lot of that crowd to then show up. We've seen that multiple times, haven't we?
Yeah, we've seen that before, but it would be good to have basically 3 nights of jam-packed Sam's Town, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would, yeah. Yeah, and who knows, maybe we'll see it.
Well, they're mad for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the Windsor tapings because it's Sinclair's, because that's always packed.
Yeah, and they haven't been there for a good few years, have they?
No, exactly. So I think the crowd are going to be mad for it.
Yeah.
Now, talking about character build, like we did with Joan and what we were talking about with debuts and stuff like that. On the complete opposite, Taylor Wilde's character change has happened sort of kind of over the last couple of weeks on social media. We had a little bit of a sort of preview thing on Impact Wrestling this past week. Hashtag Wilde Witch and all of that kind of stuff. Now, what's interesting about this is it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about Taylor Wilde changing her character and trying to push this whole witch persona as a wrestler. And so the fact that we're now seeing that happen I'm not saying this tributed to what we said, to pushing it and saying what a great idea it would be. But it is interesting. It just goes to show that, you know, as wrestling fans, as Impact fans, as Taylor Wilde fans, we're certainly on the same wavelength, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I
No,
can't
I
remember
think
the
it's
last time I
cool.
really saw. I was gonna say I can't really remember the last time we saw Taylor as a heel, so it's going to be very interesting to kind of see her play this character, which obviously, you know, even from these vignettes, it really looks like she knows where she's going with it.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that she's turning heel. I'm not sure. You know, there's nothing to say
Well,
that she's not
but when I say heel, I mean she's always been the underdog babyface, so it's just something different from that.
Yeah, something different, more character driven, as opposed to just being a kind of
and again,
kind of wrestling persona. I get what you're saying.
And again, it's like obviously we're getting close to Hard to Kill. Does this tie into the possible return of Su Yung?
Well, Su Yung did appear in the first vignette as well.
Exactly. Su Yung did appear.
Was there in the doorway for like 2 or 3 seconds and disappeared. So
and
I think
her music was playing in the background.
Yeah. I'm really
like
hoping
that brought out the witch.
I'm hoping it is all intertwined, because I would love to see this. Then go.
Look at that gun.
Oh yeah,
that's not bad, is it?
I
put my arm up. I'm like, oh, the gun looks good. You know, just saying.
I would love to see them go up against Rosemary and Havoc and Ty Valkyrie. That would be amazing. You know, that would be a match for Hard to Kill. That would be even a match for the whatever was No Surrender. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Definitely. Now Anna's just put in the chat that she's hoping to head over to Vegas. Obviously, depending on her work schedule. I'd love to go to Vegas. Yeah. You know, I'd love 3 days of 3 days of wrestling for me. Impact Wrestling, 3 nights in a row. I'd love it.
Vegas would be nice. I'd love to go to the US in general. I've never been.
I'd love it. I would love it. I have actually, in fairness, I did look into flights for going to Windsor.
Yeah.
In March, I did look at the flights, and there's some pretty reasonable ones. I've just got to get around Mrs. Bison to see if she's going to let me fly over to Canada. But we'll have to wait and see. Fingers are crossed. You know what I mean? Fingers are crossed.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. And again, Norris is saying there's a coffin in the Hard to Kill logo.
Yeah. We've been pointing that out. We've been pointing that out almost every time we've mentioned that there's a coffin, so it must mean something. And the first time I saw it, I thought when Rosemary burst out the coffin and Su Yung versus Ali was what crossed my mind. So it's like it's become like a staple almost for Hard to Kill that a casket's got to be involved somewhere. I think that would be amazing.
It would be amazing. It would be, especially if we set it on fire. That would be even more amazing. But anyway, so Speedball Mike Bailey recently talks about wanting to stay with Impact Wrestling and help it grow in the coming years. I can't remember the interview, and that's really bad of me because I should really credit them for it. But there was an interview recently, and he talks about how happy he was to sign with Impact Wrestling. He loves the path that they're on, and he's hoping to be part of that growth in the coming years. This, again, fantastic news. Fantastic news.
I thought we were friends.
We're friends, Mike. We're friends. I promise you we're friends. But there you go. Critical thing. It was Chris Van Vliet. There you go.
Congratulations to Chris as well, who recently got married.
He got married, but he also had all of his laptops and shit stolen, I believe. So so he put himself back together again, which is good to see. It was a good interview. And it's good to see that talent are really starting to see the potential that Impact have, and they want to be a part of it. Yeah, they want to be a part of the growth. They want to be able to say in years to go, you know what, I was part of that when Impact was growing. I was part of it, I think that's cool. I think that's cool, and clearly they think it's cool as well. You're happy with this, aren't you, Joe?
I'm over the moon. After seeing that match with Josh Alexander, part of me thought this is a statement from Mike Bailey. Saying that he's here for the long run, even when Tom Hannaford mentioned it, that Scott D'Amore signed the contract off of Josh Alexander's back for Mike Bailey. That hit home. That this is someone that Scott's clearly got a lot of investment and a lot of long-term plans for. Like Steve Macklin's another one, and is that I think we know that they've got a lot of long-term planning for, and he's been amazing this year. But the way Josh Alexander's took off this year, and now the way Mike Bailey's taken off is even is probably one of the hottest stars across the world since breaking into Impact Wrestling. He wrestles in like 6 or 7 different companies every month. It's insane. The stuff he's done at Wrestling Revolver is amazing too.
Oh man, he had an amazing match with Jake Chris the other week.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It was over too quickly. That was the only bad. It was over too quickly because it just went so fast.
It was just so good. It was just so good. Though. It was so good. And the thing is, it was over quick, but it was a 15-minute match.
Yeah, it just went so. They were both so quick and so fluent together. It was like blink and you missed it all. It's like watching Trey Miguel and Mike Bailey in a match. You blink and you miss it.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great match. By the way, I spoke to Jake today. He sends his love to the team and wishes everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. So I spoke to him earlier.
Happy Christmas, Jake.
Yeah, great guy. We were talking about working out, funny enough, because that's pretty much one of the big subjects we talk about all the time. And he was working out with his daughter the other day, which I thought was really cute. But anyway, hoping to see Jake back in Impact in 2023. We'll get to talk about that in a second. But the other big news that came out of last week's Impact Wrestling was obviously the Motor City Machine Guns beating Heath and Rhino to become the champs and win the Impact tag titles, as well as obviously the New Japan Strong tag titles. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Because a lot of people are saying, are they now hot potato in the title a little bit? Why didn't Motor City Machine Guns just win it in the first place? And then we could have had like 3 or 4 matches of them, a nice winning streak. What are your thoughts, and what do you think this shows? Because a lot of people are saying that originally the major players were set to win the titles for it, but there is thoughts now. There's a possibility that Matt could be heading back to the WWE, so that's why the plans on that have been put on hold. But what are your thoughts with regards to the Motor City Machine Guns again winning the tag titles and now being champs as well, obviously holding the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong tag champs as well? What are your thoughts, guys? Let's go with Steve. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's interesting that you say the Motor City Machine Guns winning it again, because I think that they've only won it like 3 times now. So they've been around for a long while, but they haven't actually held the titles that many times.
I'm pretty sure aren't they into their 5th title run?
It's their 3rd run as tag team champions, and they beat the North for them last year. When they came out, they beat the North, and the Good Brothers beat the Motor City Machine Guns.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah,
of course,
it's one of those
years,
where they've been. Yeah,
they've won twice in the last 2 years, I suppose.
But it's like the Guns have been around forever, but they haven't. They've only held the titles twice before this. But being champs now, it really solidifies them as that established team that they already were. And I think this was always the plan, because we're seeing, Ace and Bay, really bombing Japan, making a real statement over there. And
making an impact, brother. Making an impact.
That's what
Definitely.
I mean, making an impact. And you can see that what I think Impact are looking to do, have them take the titles off of the Guns. Like that's been set up. But it is one of those things where you feel, could the Guns have just taken the titles straight? Where does the Heath and Rhino bit kind of come in? Could they have had a longer reign? I don't know. It does feel a little bit of a hot potato one here.
It does, and I sort of almost feel that they could have maybe let Heath and Rhino keep those titles until the end of the year, and then just took them off them, in 2023.
I was hoping for that, but this is it. One thing I could see from this could be a great way to make Heath and Rhino turn heel. It would be, because they were completely blown away by Chris Sabin getting the pin the way he did. That was, their goal was to become tag team champions by the end of the year, and that's been taken away from them. So that could be like a huge heel turn while the Motor City Machine Guns deal with the major players, and we wait for Chris Bay and Ace Austin to return to Impact Wrestling.
And that's a good call. Like the tag title situation may very well be a bit here, there, and everywhere because of Honor No More leaving and them maybe not having a backup plan.
Yeah,
Possibly.
that's been the biggest spanner in the works. It's been Mike Bennett and Matt Taven and Vincent disappearing from the roster, which has been a shame because that they were huge part of everything throughout the entire year.
Yeah, it is a shame.
And the Good Brothers leaving too didn't help as well because they were huge, like the dominant force throughout the entire year.
Yeah,
So
but what's interesting is I don't believe for 1 minute that they didn't know that. Taven and Bennett, I'm not sure on that one. I think they knew. I don't think they knew, but the Good Brothers they did because at the end of the day, like the Good Brothers are good friends with Scott D'Amore.
Yeah,
they're in the first place, right? So I don't believe that they would have.
Oh no, I'm not saying that the Good Brothers just like blindsided Scott D'Amore. It's just from a fan perspective.
Mike Bennett did.
Yeah, from a fan perspective, everyone thought the Good Brothers would be carrying on and possibly if they were going to leave next year, but start a new year, start a new company, but it happens at a bad time, really more than anything else. Timing's been the big issue with the tag team division, and same with the Knockouts tag team division too. Timing has been a real pain in the ass for everybody.
I think that is the problem though when you put people in on these sort of kind of short-term deals. You need to get people logged in. And I agree. Critical Sting is hitting them on the head. This is exactly what I've been saying all along. If they knew OGK were leaving, I don't think they would have been in the first Hard to Kill ads. Exactly.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. 100%. I totally agree with that. They were blindsided with that one. I honestly believe that the weekend that they ended up winning the titles and then losing the titles at the set of tapings, I honestly believe that they were supposed to be signing a deal that weekend.
Yeah.
Honestly, I honestly believe that. And I think they got there and said, no, we've changed our mind. We've had a better offer and we're going to AEW. I'm pretty certain. Because and they're fully entitled to change their mind. I'm not saying they can.
They are, but it's one of those where until ink is on paper,
exactly.
you don't plan it. Yeah.
Norris, you're talking about the 6-month contracts being a bit of a joke. Well, to a degree they are, but at least if you've got a 6-month contract, you're saying to these guys, right, I'm going to be around for 6 months. So you write a program which is based on 6 months. And if you get to the end of 6 months and there's a possibility of re-signing for another 6 months, then you can then you know what you're doing. You go from there.
Yeah. The whole purpose of the 6 months is let's see what you can do. Can you impress us, or do you feel happy here? Is really what it is. It's not a mandatory thing.
Yeah, look at what they did with Jonah. He was there for 6 months, but at no point was he really fully involved in the world title picture or challenging for it. That's kind of how you do a 6-month contract.
Yeah.
No, exactly. But they did a really good program with it.
Yeah.
Same with Mia Yim. They pushed Mia Yim and did a really good job with her without making a guaranteed title contender. She did a hell of a good job too. Jonah was fantastic.
Armin. I totally agree with what you're saying, Armin. I think I hope they're getting paid a lot of money because I bet you any money they're not happy out there sitting in the company because they're not doing anything. Impact every week they're top of the roster.
Yeah,
every week. For an entire year, they were top of the roster. And now where are they? You don't hear anything.
No,
you don't even see them putting anything on social media or anything.
Yeah, I always say sometimes money isn't everything.
No, money isn't everything. And that's exactly why Mia Yim didn't go to AEW. She went to Impact. But there you go. Can you just put what Armin's saying up there? We're not hearing more on AEW talent complain because a lot of them know they don't have a spot open for them in WWE. And they're probably getting
Yeah.
pay good money
Yeah.
to shoot and get shelved. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's
There's going to be a few though.
That's the attitude that was in the 90s in WWE. Really, you put up and shut up. That was like Vince McMahon's way of handling things, right? Basically, and
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But to come 2010, people got a lot more outspoken about everything, and they finally thought enough is enough. It's time to stick up for everybody.
So here we go. So let's talk about this one. So now, what's interesting is that we've now got obviously the Motor City Machine Guns is champ. So where do we go from here? I'm hoping they're going to hold it for a little while, and then when they're ready to basically unleash the Bullet Club of Bay and the inevitable finesse team, then I'm pretty sure they're going to be the ones taking the time. We're going to get a really good program between those guys.
You could really see Hard to Kill being a triple threat of some sort with the Bullet Club, or even a four corners match with the Bullet Club involved, where they don't get pinned.
It's been a bangorama.
There's loads of potential options going there. Loads of potential options, but I have to say that these guys are definitely going to end up as tag champs in 2023.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's what they're building for. That's what they're doing.
Chris Bay was
they've gone to Japan to build credibility. That's why they've gone to Japan. They put them in something like that. They get a shitload of wins under their belt. They become credible.
I mean, it could even be a case of like the Ace and Bay win the New Japan Strong titles off them, and then it becomes a winner takes all match or something.
Yeah,
there you go. There's lots of ways they can go around it, isn't there?
Yeah,
those are the belts they were talking about when they spoke to them to be the Motor City Machine Guns to begin with. But we'll come back from Japan, then we're coming for them, and now that they're tag team champions from Impact Wrestling, it's like a whole new door is open. But I would love to see Heath and Rhino get the rematch at Hard to Kill with the Bullet Club in as well. That would be good. It would be a nice way to really spice things up. And then if Heath and Rhino fall short, then that could be a great time to turn them heel. It's like odds against them again type thing. We busted our asses trying to get here, and once again everything's been thrown back in our face. It'd be a great way to.
Totally. And Anna, you're not wrong, my lovely. You're not wrong. Now, guys, let's talk about Impact's past. Now, we've been talking about Impact's present for a little while. Let's talk Impact's past. So, let's discuss our pick for the match of the year right now. The match of the year, what are you guys going for? Because I'll tell you now, I'm going for Jordan Grace versus Masha Slamovich at Bang for Glory. There you go. I said it. There's my match of the year, guys. That match for me was incredible. I had it all. And that's not to take away from any of the fantastic matches about some other guys, including the match that we just had with Josh Alexander and Mike Bailey. I just felt when you think about the occasion, when you think about the build that we had to it, the fact that for me it even outshone the main event that night. It had to be Jordan Grace versus Masha Slamovich at Bound for Glory. That's my thought on that one. Let us know in the chat your thoughts. Steve, match of the year, buddy. Match of the year. Go for it.
A match I could come back to is was a Rebellion, I think it was. Saban versus Jay White versus Macklin.
That was fucking brilliant. That was amazing.
Good shout, Joe.
That's a match I keep going back to.
Yeah. Match of the year for me would be Masha Slamovich versus Jordan Grace at the first match they had against each other as well. That got my vote online alongside Josh Alexander and Mike Bailey, as well as Eddie Edwards versus Josh Alexander at Bound for Glory.
Again, another great match.
That was amazing too. So if I was to go outside of the one you've picked, it would be a toss-up between the Ultimate X match with the knockout tag, or Eddie Edwards versus Josh Alexander. as an Eddie Edwards fan and a fan of Josh Alexander. Those would be the two I'd be juggling with as a fan. But Macklin, that match that Macklin had with Jay White and Alex Shelley was amazing too.
Yeah,
It's just been there's been so many amazing matches, and we've even ignored some of the ones that Sammy Callahan's had since he's come back. You know, the Clockwork Orange House of Fun match he had with Steve Macklin and Moose was amazing, and the Bar Bar Massacre he had that was amazing too. Yeah, there's been so much amazing matches this year. It's just really hard, and the Queen in the Mountain match.
I think there's been so many amazing matches that it's hard to pick.
Yeah,
well, they all stand out in their own way, don't they? That's the trouble.
You just literally have to go right. I'm going to go with that one. You know,
it's so hard for me. It's really. I was thinking to myself earlier today, what one would I pick to be the match of the year for me? And I couldn't. I was juggling between Jordan Grace and the three I mentioned at the beginning, Jordan Grace and Masha Somovich, Nelly Edwards, and Josh Alexander and Mike Bailey. But they were the ones that were freshest in my mind more than anything else. You know, when you sit back for 5 or 10 seconds.
I mean, we had some amazing matches at last year's Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
You know,
Sienna versus Mickey. That was a great.
Yeah, exactly. There was just so many amazing matches this year. It's been fantastic. But I don't want to go through all of them. I just want to talk about a couple. So, Impact Wrestler of the Year.
Let us know in the comments. Come on, we got Mia's one is Josh Alexander versus Mike Bailey. If anybody else in the chat wants to.
Throw it in there.
Please go ahead, especially if you guys are watching along on Twitch as well.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, Wrestler of the Year. Now, whether it be male, female, whatever, Wrestler of the Year for me. I just think Jordan Grace for me is absolutely blown it out of the park this year. Since she sort of like kind of, you know, really started to turn herself into, Big Mama Pump. Since she's come back, she's been aggressive. She's been, incredibly entertaining. And she's been good on the mic as well. She's been great in promos. She's been absolutely superb. So for me, she has been the Impact Wrestler of the Year. And with a very, very close second, Josh Alexander. But, absolutely superb. Jordan Grace, congratulations. You're definitely my Impact Wrestler of the Year. What about you, Steve?
I think it's an easy one. I think it's Swinger. Nah.
Okay.
No, I as much as I'd love it to be, I mean, I've always been a mark for Sabin. I think, he's been one of the best out there still, given how much he can still go, and every singles match that he, puts on is, 5-star. And even him and Shelley, they still go like they did back in 2007. So, for me, I think Sabin is still one of the best out there, and yeah, for me, he still gets my Wrestler of the Year.
Cool. And Joe?
I'm really, really torn between this one. I'm torn between Josh Alexander, Jordan Grace, and Eric Young. Given how amazing Eric Young's promo work has been this year, he's just been amazing. With all the stuff he's done with Violent by Design, and the way he got himself written off was amazing. And like you said, Jordan Grace has just been amazing. She's just blown away everybody with how she's improved in the latter stages of the year. And Josh Alexander has been Wrestler of the Year, along with Mike Bailey would be another one if I was to pick one at random. He's but I've sung the praises of Josh Alexander and Mike Bailey so many times. I thought it would be talk about someone else like Eric Young. He's just been a standard bearer for the company, and for guys like Dina, he helps keep Joe Doring in the picture. He's just been amazing. It's just been insane with some of the stuff he's done. So I'd say Eric Young.
Yeah,
okay,
Dina, Crazy Steve are two names that you could say have really shown where they're going. This stepped out of their
fantastic. Life. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. So let's start having a little look at the Impact future. Let's look at Impact's future. Who could we see return or sign in 2023? Now, I've seen a list of people. You got Nick Aldis, Johnny Impact, Mandy Rose, Hyan, Jake Chris, Fulton, the Rascals, Sue Young, maybe some UK talents like Ashley Baker, Charles Crowley, Robbie X, Adam Flex, Max Z would be great, and of course the beautiful Alex Windsor. There are such incredible talents out there at the moment that are available that could, potentially sign. I'd like to see a Robbie X, I really would, and Alex Windsor. I'd certainly love to see those. Jake Chris, I'd like to see turn up again with Fulton, because I still believe OBE need to come back. We'll talk about that in a second. But what are your thoughts on potential talents to either return or new talents to sign to Impact in 2023? Joe?
Nick Aldis is one I could definitely see coming back, even for the short term. I'd love to see Alex Windsor or Ashley Vega come through, or Charles Crowley come through to Impact Wrestling. That would be amazing. We cut the Spectacular Twat, the Undeniable One, and the Unstoppable. That would be amazing. I'd love to see Fulton and Jake Chris come back too, or any reincarnation of the Rascals would be interesting too. And Kimberly is someone else who I think has said she'd be interested in coming back too, if the circumstances were right. So if Kimberly could come back, that would be amazing too.
Yeah, I mean, if we get the Rascals, we're not getting Kimberly, and I think if we get Kimberly, we're not getting the Rascals. It's going to be. I think it'll be a bit like that, unfortunately. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, like you guys say, I reckon we could definitely see Fulton and Jake, based on where the story with the design is going. Based on what we've seen recently, part of me feels like at some point we will see maybe Andrew Everett or Alex Zane become a bit more regular, because we've seen
signed.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of them recently, haven't we? I do wonder if maybe we'll see Kushida again, because there was that storyline with him, wasn't there? And obviously that got put on hold, sadly, because of, I think, he got injured. So you wonder if maybe he'll show up and reform Time Machine, which would be cool.
That would be cool.
PCO is obviously another one he's going to be coming back to. He's officially signed to Impact Wrestling until the end of next year, so we'll be seeing PCO back. And we talked about Mandy Rose earlier, Courtney, but she's someone that we could see coming in if the circumstances are right. Even for 6 months, it'd be good to see. But Jake something as well, and as Violet's brought up too. I'd love to see Jake something come back, even if
I mean, could we see Jake something like repackaged a little bit? And join.
Well,
Sammy
he's sort of
to
repackaged himself on the indies.
You read my mind, Steve. You read my mind. If we saw Jake something and Madman Fulton come back and help Sammy Callahan, if Jake Chris couldn't decide not to get to come ahead, imagine Jake Chris and Madman Fulton and Sammy Callahan versus the Design. That would be insane. You've got two huge guys and then two underrated technical masterminds in the ring and on the mic. That would be fucking brilliant.
Yeah, like I say, especially because you've got Jake something on, going against Dina as well again.
Yeah. That'd be that extra bit of. That'd be long-term storytelling and karma coming around in the best way possible. That would be brilliant. But Andrew Everett, I've mentioned him coming to Impact Wrestling, coming back for a longer term several times, and he's really, really liked the idea. It's just whether or not Scott Demorse picked up me tagging in the same post is a different story.
You just never know.
Yeah, but we could also see Tommy Jr. come back too. You never know.
Oh God, not Tommy. No, okay, no, I know what you're saying. So, talking about Tommy Dreamer, obviously this past week on Impact, coming back to the present, we had Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer leave it all in the ring. Now, basically their friendship has ended. We've had Bully Ray continuing this on Busted Open Radio this week, which I think is great because, again, Mark Henry was involved in all of this. So it's good to see, these kind of outlets helping further storylines on Impact Wrestling. Now they're not ignoring Impact Wrestling anymore, which I think is really good to see. And I'm glad because I got to be honest. The only thing that worries me about this is that we're going to get Bully Ray versus Tommy Dreamer,
Yeah.
and that is something I don't want. I just don't want Tommy Dreamer in the ring anymore. At least Bully's fucking jacked and he's ready to rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Tommy Dreamer is half the guy he was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? He's not the guy he was 10 years ago. You're not getting a true Tommy Dreamer. That's the problem for me.
Well, that's one of the things Bully said in his promo is that look at me compared to you. You know, you're not going to last 5 minutes against me. And you know, Tommy Dreamer interviewed Joe Hendry. He said that he looks at himself in the mirror. He sees himself as a shadow of the guy he once was, and stepping back in the ring for a serious match really isn't what he's interested in. If anything, he'll do like a 5 or 10 minute match with someone like even Bully Ray, and then that escalate into a bigger match afterwards. Because Bully Ray can take Dreamer out, do what he did to Josh Alexander, and then have someone like Rich Swann, Josh Alexander, or someone new come in and make that into a big main event match on the same night, which would be really, really good. That's all. You know, Tommy Dreamer's just there to help boost the story.
Oh yeah, totally. I agree with that. I love poor Anna. She hates Bully Ray. She's got no interest in him. She scares her. Look, Jordan Terrence has got the is wrestler of the year. Look, Jordan Grace.
Yeah,
he knows where it's at. That would be cool too. Death match, Mickey James, Gianna Perazzo would be interesting. All I know is that there's some amazing matches that we could get over the coming months if all these people stay. Now, also this past week on Impact, we had a new tag team form of John Schuyler and Jason Hotch. Now, I believe these guys have tagged together on the Indies.
Yes,
I've been trying to find it. I haven't found any of it. So this is interesting how they're sort of bringing this into the story. And again, they're looking at building a tag division, and these are the guys they probably need. You've got John Schuyler recently re-signed with a company, with a multi-year deal. We've got Jason Hotch on a deal, so we've got two signed guys forming a tag team. That's creating a solid tag team for the tag team division of Impact Wrestling. That's exactly what needs to be done. I think it's interesting to see where this goes. Obviously, we haven't seen anything yet on Impact Wrestling, other than just one skit where they sort of kind of get together. Let's see where it goes, right?
Yeah, I'm
very intrigued by this team. You got a experienced veteran in John Schuyler, and you got an up and coming talent in Jason Hotch. I mean, looking at them, they both look like a good unit. We know, so I'm very intrigued to see what both these guys can do together.
Definitely, and whether they're going to come up with a name for the team as well.
I'm sure.
Because as we know, all good tag teams need to have a good name and they need to have good gear. That's what they need. Good gear, matching gear, good team name. Let's see what happens with that. We've also seen recently that youthful sensation Billy Starks has just come back from a very successful tour in Japan, and now she's 18, has made an appearance on AEW Dark, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm saying now Impact need to sign her ASAP. That's all I'm saying. Or they're going to lose her. And I know that they've been watching her. They've been watching her.
Yeah.
Whether they've been waiting for her to turn 18, I don't know. But we need Billy Starks on Impact Wrestling. You've got to agree with this, boys. You've got to agree with this.
Oh, I do. Oh, yeah. I'm without a doubt, bring her in as soon as possible, because she's going to get lost in an overwhelming roster of people just make the odd appearance on the Dark. She deserves better. If anything, Impact Wrestling would be a great place for her to kick off her professional wrestling career before going elsewhere. Bring her in for 6 months, see how she settles in, and then see where it goes from there. But she's someone who will benefit from the 6-month contract program, so to show that it's not just a complete wasted opportunity. Get
her in, see what she can do, and then sign her to a multi-year deal. Simple as that.
Yeah. She can work great with anyone on the roster. No doubt about that at all.
There you go.
Got a hell of a
Terrence,
lot
Mandy
from there,
Rose,
Terrence.
Kylan King, Hyan, Rochelle Rose, Tiffany Neves
Yeah,
as new
bring them all in.
signees for
Yeah.
Impact 2023.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
You never
a couple
know.
Of them,
All
a couple of them
fantastic
have been on
records.
Impact.
Stick Billy starts on there. Add Alex Winslow to that. You know, we're talking some fantastic wrestlers that are available. Now, we've also got Trey Miguel attacking Crazy Steve and tagging him before his tag match this past week. You know, obviously, this is going to set up some kind of grudge match between these guys. Has Trey a bit of more than he can chew with the Decay boys? What do you think?
It's an intriguing one, isn't it? Because if there's anyone who isn't bothered about being tagged and sprayed, it's going to be Crazy Steve.
No, exactly.
So I'm very intrigued as to how this will work, and I think we'll really see the next step of Trey's character be brought out through the development of Crazy Steve here. But I'm really looking forward to this because we know that Trey is now taking that next step. So let's see how far he can push it.
Totally. And of course, this leads on to what we were talking about earlier with regards to the major players, because this all took part prior to the major players versus Decay.
Yeah, if
Obviously,
anything,
they defeated Decay and are now being advertised for the post-match meet and greet at Hard to Kill. Now, this is where we're sort of kind of like a little bit in limbo with regards to the major players. We don't really know what's going on here because now they're winning matches again. And also they're being promoted as the big meet and greet, post-show for Hard to Kill. I don't know. I'm a bit up in the air with these guys now because I love major players. I think Brian Myers and Cardona are fantastic. They're great additions to the Impact roster. I don't want to see either of them go, but I have a feeling that they are.
I don't know. I still feel like they'll stick around. I mean, I think if you look at, especially Cardona, like we were talking about Jonah earlier, any person who's left for WWE, Cardona is the best one who's made success on the independents.
yeah,
I don't think he'll do any better going back to WWE than he has done on the independents. And I think Myers stated in an interview that he's probably having more enjoyment at Impact than he has done for years in WWE. So it's one of those where I can really see them sticking around.
Matt Cardona had an interview recently. I think it was a PWI. I'm not sure who it was. I did share the post on my Twitter feed a couple of days ago. He's saying that Impact Wrestling has been a huge momentum boost for him since leaving WWE. He's enjoying his time there. He's absolutely blown away by the feedback he's got from the fans. The one thing that's really caught him off guard is how busy his schedule's gotten now, working as an independent wrestler compared to being on WWE. So he actually feels a bit more overworked being an independent star than he does when he was on WWE, which is and he's won NWA World Title, he's won the GCW World Championship, he's been world champion in several other companies. He's had a title shot against Moose and W Morrissey to kick off the year. This year, he's been pushed to the moon and back, and his confidence in himself has come right back up from nothing. Again, it's something that Impact Wrestling does brilliantly with everybody they sign. Yeah, and if anything, I really do hope that Matt Cardona and Brian Myers stick around at least for another year. Okay, because the major players finally breaking through into Impact Wrestling is something we need for the tag division after seeing Brian Myers with the learning tree get cut down. You've been cut.
And not only that, but if you look at how the WWE is at the moment, like we said earlier, lots and lots of people are coming back all at once. If they did want to go back, it would probably do them good to go back in a year's time, in a couple of years' time, when they know what the landscape looks like more, rather than everyone turning up and saying, right, what we going to do? And you're like, I don't know, give us a little while to figure it out.
Well, we'll just get put back onto it. I'll get put onto NXT.
Yeah, like you're saying, obviously, Cardona's got a lot of this confidence from, Impact giving him, but he needs the booking as well.
Yeah.
And, not everyone's going to give him that. And likewise with Myers, Myers' booking over recently has been fantastic, but there's no guaranteeing that he's going to get that anywhere else. So I really hope they do stick around, because likewise, I think they're benefiting the product, obviously both singles and tag team, and I think Impact is benefiting them as well.
Yeah, and then they're able to promote their podcast, and then they've done a recent charity event. They wouldn't have been able to promote that properly on WWE, or even probably not even on AEW. Matt Cardona wasn't happy at AEW, and as soon as he came back to Impact Wrestling, he was stayed there as long as he needed to. But I can see them sticking around a bit longer, even if it's a 6-month extension. I can see them sticking around a bit longer, at least, like you said, to see how things pan out in WWE. Because if they come back before WrestleMania, at the moment it seems to be it's the WWE's mentality seems to be get everyone in before WrestleMania, and it's just going to leave too many people lost in the fold.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the biggest problem we've got is if Matt Cardona goes to WWE, like you say, all the other stuff that he's got going on, he can't do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to me, it never makes any sense. I understand he did speak about it, saying for him, the biggest thing would be to win the WWE title, but I just don't see that happening. Even if he was to go back there, he's not what they would put the title on.
No,
he's not.
At the moment, it says if you're in the Rocks family, then you're our guy. Is the mentality they've got there at the moment?
Yeah, you've got to be part of the Rocks family. That's true. Okay, guys, listen. Let's move on a little bit. So after Jordan and Mickie James's contract signing, Tasha Steelz makes it known that she is after her title shot. Oh God! So
right.
This was good to see. Because obviously we've seen Tasha take a bit of a backstage, like a bit of a backseat a little bit to titles and stuff recently. So it's nice to see that they're now putting her forward back into that picture again. I guess the fact that she's now signed a long-term deal was probably going to help that. But, interesting stuff ahead. Where are we going to see Tasha Steelz in 2023, do you think?
Well, the fact that we saw Tasha come in, and like I say, it's good that obviously we've got more of a direction here, but this was either a double bluff, or it gave me that feeling of Mickey's going to win this now, because Tasha's got more history with Mickie.
Hardcore country!
Da 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 da. We did your holiday specialist. Da da da. You know what I mean? Holiday special of Hardcore Country. I like it.
Hardcore country!
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells rock, and jingle bells rock. Oh, anyway, there you go. I told you. Anyway.
Oh, baby!
So lots going on. Lots going on.
I could see this being the breaking point between Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz. If Jordan Grace and Mickie James, well, they will get the win over them. This because Tasha Steelz is going to come in all guns blazing. I'm the greatest that beat the greatest, and all that. And Tasha Steelz' long-term plan is to go back into the Knockouts title picture as well. This could be the that breaking point we've been waiting for. And it's a great way. It's a great way to do it too, because Savannah Evans has put Tasha Steelz in her place twice. She's beat Jessica and she's beat Ty Valkyrie in one-on-one, and made Tasha Steelz look like a bit of an idiot in doing so. In Tasha Steelz' eyes, she's made herself put her down. When all Savannah Evans is doing is just doing what Tasha Steelz has said to do, So, but
you
we all
go.
know Tasha Steele is the flavor and a fiery character herself. So Ego's gonna blow up between her and Savannah Evans.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get a program with Savannah Evans and Tasha Steele fairly soon. I hope it kicks off at Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great
Part of
way
me
to
feel-
kick off the year.
Yeah, part of me feels it'll be a case of maybe even Savannah when Tasha goes for the title again. It'll be Savannah costing Tasha the title, maybe.
Yeah, just
Who
not
knows?
lay her out with a boot like she did Kira Hogan.
Yeah, definitely. Now, guys, this past week also we get Sami Callihan gets a win over Angels, but after the match, the numbers game is just too much, and Dina shows why he's the leader of the design. Sami needs to get some backup in 2023, doesn't he? Is OVE coming back to Impact Wrestling? What are your thoughts?
Something has to be on. Something has to happen, doesn't it? You know, Callahan has to have someone by his side, and I mean, it makes sense to be OVE, doesn't it?
To me, perfect sense.
Yeah.
Unless all of a sudden he goes back to this. He goes back to the the digital kind of like phone thing, and I forgot what that one was called now. Was it the
ICU?
ICU, that's it. Unless we start heading back to the ICU character. Again, though, that could work because if you think about it, that ICU character is kind of similar to this, to like creating a cult type faction.
Yeah.
With I mean, they had the people in the hoodies and the face things going on, and do you know what I mean? There was
Sami he used followers. Literally,
he had followers. That's right. He had his ICU followers.
Yeah.
So who knows? However, I would like to see OV. I'd like it to be. I'd like to see Jake back, Fulton. Like you say, maybe a Jake something joining him to get his revenge on Dina, to help. Again, long-term storytelling that could work. We're just gonna have to wait and see. 2023 is going to be very, very interesting. The future of Impact Wrestling looks bright. Now, guys, we also had one other match on the Impact card last week, and I want to end on this one. It was, of course, the incredible Swinger and Zicky Dice versus Gujar and the man that, if you say his name, he appears, Mr. Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I was up looking for the Johnny Swinger one, while you mentioned Johnny Swinger. I know because I know Steve was down the bottom with Joe Hendry ready.
Anyway,
but they're both at opposite ends of the bloody list. Johnny Swinger's right at the top, and Joe Hendry's down at the bloody bottom.
I thought that was a good setup. I tried to give you as much.
And I want my pizzles back.
But again, this was, I thought, was a good matchup. It put obviously Joe and Gujar over as baby faces, which was great. We had the usual promo from Joe. I love the way he sort of kind of gets in the ring, does all of this, right?
Yeah.
Ring. He faces the Titantron, I call it. He faces the back, and then as the music just ends, he sort of does this sort of kind of turn and smiles at the camera. I think it's really cool. I kind of love all that stuff. To me, that's real proper attention to detail and what sets him apart from other people, because he's really setting up his character. He's really building this kind of theme of what he wants it to be, and I think it's really good. I love it.
Could say you believe, don't you, Bison?
I believe, mate. I
believe in Joe Hendry.
I am 100% believer in Joe Hendry. I love Joe Hendry live.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I've seen him a few times, and I love it. I love it when he does his when he does his sort of kind of like entrances and stuff with different people. Joe Hendry is the man. You're leaving me hanging.
Yeah, because you didn't say his name.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Ah, there you go.
or if you believe or not.
I don't have to say that bit. I just have to say his name.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
We love him. We love him. Anyway, moving on. We've got the digital media exclusive match this week. I haven't seen it exclusively, but I did see it on the Wrestling Revolver pay-per-view a sort of month or so back. It was Steve Macklin versus Manders versus Crash Jackson versus Matt Swarner. It was a 4 corners match, and it was insane. It was an insane match. So if you haven't watched this match on Pro Wrestling Revolver, and you can get it now, go and watch it. It's a really, really good match. If not, it'll be available on the weekend for free. So go and check it out. It's a really, really good match. And BTI this week, the BTI match, is the new Wilde Witch herself, Taylor Wilde, versus Kylan King. Now, you know, I don't know too much about Kylan King, but I know that she's pretty popular. She's pretty popular. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, she's really good. So I think it would be really, really cool to see this match. I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully Taylor will get the win because, you know, there's no point in changing that character and then coming out and losing, is there?
Because
So,
I can see Taylor Wilde getting the win, and then we'll see where this builds. You know, we also what's happening with Killer Kelly. You know, could she get involved? But either way, it's going to be the beginning of the new era of Taylor Wilde. Like and you said, crazy Steve. Like Steve said earlier, we're seeing a transition from the like babyface and the dog, happy-go-lucky bubbly wrestler into something absolutely crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a funny feeling maybe the witch is going to conjure up Sue Young.
Yeah,
maybe
that would be the best. That would be the best way to bring Sue Young back at the moment. Would be something like that.
Yeah, that's my thought process on that. Maybe that's how they're gonna bring Sue back. It's going to be something to do with her. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this one goes. They're bringing her back in. Anna and Courtney are saying that Kaylin has been on NWA and AEW, that she's great. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what she has to offer, but hoping that Taylor wins because she's my girl Taylor. So there you go. We then head into the Impact Wrestling roster. We've got Steels and Evans versus Grayson James in a tag match. That should be interesting. We then got the Death Dolls, obviously, but this is like obviously implementing. Because I'm sick. Exactly. We've got Rosemary and Jessica, not Taya, obviously with Taya, but we're getting a different tag team.
This in celebration of Rosemary's seventh year beginning at Impact Wrestling now. After 6 years of Impact Wrestling, this now being our 7th. I think this is going to be an interesting way. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting.
Maybe. But they're going to be versing Giselle Shaw and Diana Perazzo, obviously, and the tag titles are on the line, which is...
I am the f***ing greatest.
Exactly that, yeah. Now, interesting thing with regards to Diana is that, you know, again, you know, there's been rumors that her contract status is like up this year. It should have been up, I think, at the end of this month. She's been advertising herself for matches, or you know, for Impact tapings, right the way up to Windsor.
Yeah,
in March, which then suggests to me that if she hasn't signed a full contract, she's at least signed maybe a 3 to 6 month contract extension, so that they got time to sort of kind of do a bit more negotiation or whatever. So that's good news. So at least we know that we've got Diana now at least until March. So that's good. And it's good to see her sort of kind of teaming with Giselle Shaw as well, who, you know, we're all big fans of. We do love a bit of Giselle. So they could be the fucking greatest tag team, couldn't they?
I like how they actually managed to get this to work around, seeing as Gianna Price was so pissed off at her for breaking everything down between her and Chelsea Green to begin with and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know? And the way Giselle Shaw managed to convince her into to do it, you know, because she still does have a rematch clause. It's just that Chelsea Green's not here to reinvoke it. So that was something we touched on like ages ago. Was that Gianna Price and Chelsea Green never did get that rematch. So this is a great way to close the book on that too. So
Yeah.
it's like they have this as a backup plan.
Yeah.
Almost.
Now, can I just say, Barry Monkey 99? That is a very creative way of bringing Su Yung back, and I'm all for it. And she appears, and when she does come back in this erotic dream of PCOs, it's via Swinger's Dungeon.
Oh, dear.
I do agree with his other statement too, that yes, we do need to keep Gianna Peraza on.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely do. Diana is, she is only queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely is. And I think she's been doing great work. She promotes Impact wherever she can. She is, she really is a true Impact girl, which is great. Now, talking about Diana, we've got her new husband, Steve Macklin, versus Rich Swann. Apparently, Steve's going to make an example of Rich.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen, or do we think this is just going to be a really good match?
It's going to be a
match,
fucking cracking match.
Yeah, like I say, Macklin always puts on great matches, and Swann is going to bring it. It still shouts to me that we don't know what to do with Rich Swann, but I ain't going to complain about the match. Both men can bring it, and we were talking earlier about match of the year contenders. This is going to be up there.
Yeah, this is going to be a belated match of the year contender, definitely. I can see it going all the way, and then Steve Macklin going into an onslaught there, and then probably Josh Alexander coming up then to do something. Seeing as Rich Swann had Josh's back, seeing as
I don't know. I have
wants
a feeling
Josh to stay away from Bully Ray. There's nothing stopping him from coming out and stepping up to Steve Macklin.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that Josh has got too much on his mind right now. He's not even going to be watching that match. Trust me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but still,
Rich
Swann had his back, and Rich Swann's always the one that's left out to dry.
It's true. He is always, and you know what? Like 3 or 4 years ago, when they did that match, for the where he lasted it was like a gauntlet match, and he lasted for 40 minutes or something.
Yeah,
that was an amazing match. Do you remember that? It was a great match.
Yeah. He went through Michael Elgin, Brian Cage, and all sorts. He went through everybody. He's been up against some of the biggest, toughest bastards out there, and it's just been he's incredible.
Exactly that. We've then got Mike Bailey versus Yuya Uemura coming this Thursday as well. Again, you're talking about two incredible wrestlers. We know what Mike Bailey could do. We've been seeing what Yuya Uemura can do over the past several weeks and months. The dude is an impressive up-and-coming wrestler, up-and-coming talent. I think this is going to be a real high-flying X Division style match. I'm looking forward to it,
Yeah, I'm going to be intrigued to see if there's any outside sort of I don't want to say interference, but shall we say
shenanigans?
Shenanigans, because obviously, Yuya's had a bit of interaction with Delirious and that, and obviously Bailey's had a little bit of interaction with Kenny King, so it's going to be interesting to see where this one goes, because you feel it's not just a match that's been put on for the crowd.
Oh no, we're going to see Kenny King, and Kenny King's he's going to keep prodding Mike Bailey to try and get him to snap, and so what he does is going to be interesting. Is he going to sit at ringside with popcorn like he did with Ace Austin and Chris Bay, or
whatever happens?
Yeah,
as Mir stated here in the chat, this is the final episode, the final episode of Fresh Impact Wrestling episode of 2022. Next week we've got the best of and the awards and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So something interesting has got to happen to grab our attention to make sure that in 2 weeks' time, or 3 weeks' time, whenever it is,
they need to give you a reason to tune back in.
Yeah. So there's going to be some interesting stuff that happens, whether it be backstage, whether it be at the end of the show, whether it be during matches. There's definitely going to be some interesting stuff happen. Some matches are possibly going to be made for Hard to Kill. Some interesting stuff's going to go on this week, definitely. But guys, that's just about all we've got time for this week. But don't forget to tune in to the TNI Impact Review Show tomorrow night, live on YouTube and Twitch, directly after Impact is aired on Access TV, the Fight Network in Canada, Impact Plus, YouTube Insiders, and of course the brand spanking new distribution deal with DAZN, DAZN. I still don't know how you're supposed to say it. Please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up. And of course, join our Discord where we pretty much talk about everything Impact or wrestling related, as well as movies and other sports, etc. Loads of stuff gets discussed over there. It doesn't matter. Other promotions, AEW section, WWE section, GCW, movies, baseball, American football, all sorts of stuff gets talked about over on the Discord. So go and check that out. If you miss Uncle Mark, that's where he is. Go and check him out as well. He's in the Discord a lot, so he pretty much runs it. So go and check him out. All the TNI shows are available to all of you guys that listen on the go as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Basically, wherever you guys listen to your favorite shows, we are there. But guys, where can we find you, Steve, on the socials?
You can find me over on the Twitter at SimplySteve311. So head over there for anything Impact Wrestling related. Just over on the Twitter at the moment. Okay,
and what about yourself, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at JOKEmptySpace. You can look for #EmptySpace, #Into the Void, or if you fancy to tickle your taste buds and your sense of humour, look for #DailyGiggle on Facebook or on Twitter. But approach to an open mind, and you just might keep your sanity.
Fair enough.
And if you're a very good boy or a very good girl, you will not be on the naughty list in the Daily Giggle memes.
If you're interested in finding out a bit more about the Bison, you can find me over on the Twitter sphere at LordBison45. I'm getting very, very close to 2,000 follows. So come on, help me out. Share me around. Tell everyone they need to follow the Bison. Let everyone know about me. Let everyone know about We Talk Impact. It is important, guys, to help spread the word. The more of us, the more people that tune in, the better. And we appreciate all the super stickers and all that kind of stuff. We appreciate all those things. And, check out our Patreon. Check out our stores where you can buy merch, T-shirts, mugs, whatever it is. Go and check out that stuff. We appreciate it. Thank you, Barry Monkey. I appreciate that. I am feeling a bit rough, but I'm still here for you guys. I am here. But I need to cough. 2 seconds. Hang on, 2 seconds. Right, sorry. I had to go on mute because you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear it. Trust me. It doesn't sound great. Anyway, so please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. If you're new to us and you like what you see, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, or even a smash to make sure you never miss any of the great content coming out each and every week from TNI UK and, of course, the US team. And we are trying to put out more and more. We really are. We're trying to put more and more stuff out, guys. So, stay tuned. Don't forget to check out TNI in 16, my latest thing that I'm doing. I'm trying to put stuff out as regular as possible on that. Anything that comes in, any news, I will be breaking it or getting it out to you guys as quick as I possibly can. But, guys, with all that said, I have been Bison. They have been, of course, the incredible Joker, the red-nosed reindeer, and, of course, Simply Christmas himself. And I have been the one and only Saint Bison. And this has been episode 114 of Impacted. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, everyone. See you in 2023.
Take care, guys.
We're back